supremacy. And with this particular video, I want to talk about the Santa Fe, Texas shooting and what it shows about the school system. What's actually being exposed. To me, it's not a question of gun control or the violence that is caused by guns. I think that is a symptom to express the violence that exists within the nature of the human being or with the individual. And with this particular video, I want to look at the root cause of that violence. I want to look at the school system, and I want to look at what they're teaching and what they're cultivating and what they're creating. Because when this scenario keeps happening over and over again, then you have to look at it to say, are they producing serial killers? Are they producing mass murderers? Because it seems like whatever curriculum or whatever they're teaching or however they're running these institutions, they are manufacturing mass killers. This is what's now being raised and cultivated and developed and manufactured right here in America. And what or how are they teaching that is causing this? To me is the real question. What type of environment, what type of artificial, socially engineered environment are these children in to produce this type of result? My answer is that the schools have become way more oppressive, and they're becoming more and more oppressive under the auspices of security for the students. Under the auspices of creating a safe environment, they're becoming more oppressive, which will lead to more school shooters and more violence, because these children feel like cage animals and they want to lash out at the cage. Animals in the cage itself, the oppressors, whatever. Whenever we see a people or individuals, children, adults, genders, race, whenever we see a group of people that feel very oppressed, you're going to find terrorism. You're going to find suicide bombers. You're going to find mass killers. In other countries, like in the Arab countries or in the Middle East, they feel oppressed. And out of their feeling of oppression, they will blow themselves up and anybody around them. So it's their deep feeling of oppression that leads to the acts of terrorism and violence and mayhem that they wring on others. So there is a consistency or correlation between suicide bombers in the Middle East or in Israel and these school shooters. What they have in common is a deep feeling of oppression. And they're going at the machine. They're going at the source and origin. And I think that it's a psychological breakdown in the programming within the school system. Their program is breaking down. Because however the schools are organized, they're making the school the central focus of the child's life. That school is the child's God, and school is the child's devil in one. The totality of their reality is centered around school to an oppressive point. Because why is school so important that you need to go in and shoot and kill everybody? Why is that such an important theme, an important place? Why is it so significant? Why lash out at this institution? Because it has become the central theme of their reality. And they've been forced in this artificially constructed box and told that this is everything. School is your reality, is how you relate, is your social existence. They believe that school is their identity. So when they have an identity problem, that the only place they can solve that problem, when they have pain based on their identity that's connected to the school, and they believe the only place they can solve it is by going to the school and ending it. Lashing out on all those around them to address the pain that is inside of them, because they may already have pain that they may have come to the earth with. But by school being made the central theme of their reality through deep psychological programming, then the school becomes the benefactor of the pain. It becomes that which will inherit or receive the pain that the individual is feeling. Because the child has been told school is everything. This is the totality of everything. School, 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 school. So if the child wants to end the pain and misery that they feel inside, then they must end the fucking school. Now, like I said in the beginning of the video, a lot of this has to do with the school becoming more oppressive. That's the main thing. It's becoming more oppressive and invasive to the individual, where the child has no identity outside of the school under the auspices of safety and security. Back in the day, you used to could wear whatever you want to school. So you had an identity outside of how everybody else in the school looked. Your psychology wasn't just totally locked into the school reality. So if you have a problem with reality itself, then the school is where you go and perpetrate, or you go and act out how you feel. So the child is not allowed to have no identity. They have to look like everybody else. So if they have a problem with themselves, then they have a problem with everybody else, and they need to kill everybody else. This is deep. The book bags are clear, so they have no personal space, no privacy inside of the building. They can see right through your bag. You got to walk through metal detectors. Everybody's in your face. You got to worry. Under the auspices of security, schools have become the new concentration camps. They have less freedom in these schools than prisoners. So they're lashing out against the prison. But it's a psychological prison. Some of these shooters are trying to make a jailbreak. They're trying to break out of the prison of the school system. But the difference is it's a psychological prison. That you can't just break out of it like you can jail and then go off and you're somewhere free. That you have to break out of it mentally. In order to break out of it mentally, you believe you have to end the program. You have to turn the shit off. You have to turn the school off. You have to end the school. Because that has become how they perceive that they exist. Through the intense programming and the value put on school, they believe that that's how they exist, that is their existence. So if they have a problem with existence itself, they don't go beyond the school to find a solution to their problems. They have to end the school and the children there. Because that has become the totality of their reality. And they have been forced to think that way. Back in the day, it wasn't so secure. You could wear what you wanted to wear. If you wanted to cut school a day, wasn't no big deal. Your whole reality wasn't locked up into school. Because if your whole reality is locked up in the school, if you get mad, if you feel aggression, it's going to be taken out at the school, where all innocent and vulnerable soft targets are at. The school will be the place that they play out their narrative of pain and victimization. This is where they're going to play it out at, because so much emphasis is now put on school. So you think by getting more armed security guards and locking different buildings that you're making the children safer, and you're just making the children feel more repressed, more suppressed, and ultimately oppressed. School has become a very oppressive institution now. Let's keep it real. This is why the children are shooting up the schools. For one, the idea of school in this country is an artificial construct that has got out of control to begin with. For one, it's no way that you can make all those children in the school safe. And you cannot save them from themselves. If them children want to kill themselves and everybody around them, there's nothing an armed guard can do. There's nothing that gun control can do. That's not even realistic. So by creating the illusion of them being safe and secure, you're really creating a more oppressive environment that's forcing them to take themselves out, because they want psychological freedom. They want psychological freedom from that artificial box that they're being forced in. They want freedom. But you have drilled it in their mind. School, school, school. These are your friends, your classmates. You just drilled them over the head. Instead of letting them have a social world or a social reality beyond the school, beyond the building, outside of the building. Now you go in certain towns. And I done drove through certain towns. And all they got is a fucking school. They have nothing else. There's no other outlet or no other venue or no other ways for these human beings to express themselves other than school. There's nothing else for them. It's a social desert. Nothing for the children, no other outlet but school. So they can't even have a consciousness outside of that box. School is the totality of their reality, and they're bound to lash out. They're bound to react. It is a dangerous, artificially created entity that is manufacturing mass murderers and serial killers. You take something that's artificial to put them all together, it's unsafe anyway. You throwing them in a pig pen. That's what a school is. It's a social pig pen where people bully. It's about competition, vying for attention, external validation. It is a social pig pen that has been artificially created. And then you go and take that and you add armed guards and you add clear book bags and everybody having the same uniform at a time when an individual is in a most sensitive state to try to identify who they are and get some sense of identity about themselves. And you throw them in a concentration camp called a public food system. And you don't think that they're gonna lash out for freedom? You don't think that they're not gonna feel claustrophobic, and they're not gonna feel boxed in, and they're not gonna have a panic attack? You believe that this is a comfortable and natural environment to promote psychological well-beingness for an individual? I mean, you actually believe that? And now you even want to turn it up even more. To every school will have the amount of security the Area 51 has. Every school will have the type of security that you have at the fucking Pentagon. Just for your child to go in and receive that particular program. And you don't believe or understand that your natural child is reacting against the program. That it's their reaction and their rejection of the program is making them get guns and go in and shoot up everybody. Because it doesn't even make sense. They're shooting their friends. They're shooting their peers. They're shooting people that look just like them. It's not an issue of gun control. Even though I think that there should be gun control when it comes to whites. It's an issue of the curriculum and how oppressive the school system has become and is becoming. They are manufacturing maniacs and murderers. This is a reality, and it keeps happening over and over again like it's a franchise. Like the same type of murder that's happening in Florida. It's the same type of shooting that's happening in Texas. It's something wrong with the system, what they're being educated, what they're being taught. There's no way that you can make any school safe or secure from shooting or mass murder. It is impossible. There's nothing one armed guard can do. There's not even nothing a police on patrol can do. If somebody want to walk up to a school and just start opening shooting or driving over every fucking body, they can do it. There's nothing to stop them. So the illusion of safety and security in a physical way through militarization or law enforcement is an illusion. So now you have to look at how are the children being taught, whether they're being educated, and how they're being treated or mistreated to bring about these reactions. This King Noble Black Supremacy, signing out.